Congratulations to Angela Bourne, please, our 2018 Homecoming King.
We're just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time, darling.
Congratulations to the Homecoming King and Queen, Angela Bourne and Alexa Aguilar. Good morning, Saugus. I'm Nicole Holguin, and today is Tuesday, September 11th.
And I'm Hailey Rutter, and this is SNN. Also, congratulations to the junior class for winning Best Homecoming Float.
For today's fact of the day, we thought we'd tell you why when someone has been fooled, we say that the wool has been pulled over their eyes.
In British courts, both the judges and attorneys wear wool wigs, a custom that originated in the 18th century.
When a crafty lawyer wins a trial against all odds, it's as though the lawyer had blinded the judge with his own wig. Hence, the wool had been pulled over his eyes.
Please stand for the flag salute.
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may now be seated. Please stand.
Parent and student empowerment will be hosting Every Life Matters to help prevent teen suicide. The event is for both parents and students and will be held next Thursday, September 20th at Rio Norte Junior High School at 6:30.
Sophomores and juniors can now register to take the PSAT on October 10th. The cost is $22 and you can pay in the ASB office. There is a limited number of exams.
If you are not feeling well or have injured yourself, get a pass from your teacher and head to the health office. Do not contact your parents and expect to be summoned from class.
There is a mandatory meeting for Science National Honor Society today at lunch in X2411.
Now let's go to Patrick Karamian with your sports news.
Good morning, Saugus. I'm Patrick Karamian with your sports news. Girls golf competes in their second league match today at the Hanson Dam Golf Course. Also today, girls tennis plays against West Ranch. JV plays at Saugus at 3 and varsity plays at West Ranch at 3. Girls volleyball competes against Golden Valley at Saugus. Frosh plays at 3:45, JV plays at 4:15, and varsity plays at 5:30. Football competes against St. Francis this week. On Thursday, Frosh plays at 4, and on Friday, JV plays at 4:30 and varsity plays at 7. All games are at St. Francis High School. Boys soccer tryouts continue until next Wednesday. Tryouts will be held at Central Park on fields 1 and 2. Returning players will try out from 2:15 to 3:30. New players will try out from 3:15 to 4:30. That's all for me. Exactly 17 years ago, a catastrophic event struck the American East Coast. This event will be remembered vividly by Americans all around the country, even if they were not involved in the incident.
Good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
I'm Diane Sawyer, and it's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. It is beautiful outside. Perfect September day with lots of sunshine. Oh, would you look at Washington, huh? I'm going outside today.
Other than that, it's kind of quiet around the country. We like quiet. It's quiet. It's too quiet.
My dad was actually in the city. Now, he never goes to the city ever, and it was like really random that he had to go down for a meeting, but he had a meeting actually in the building right next to the Twin Towers. Like, it's right there, same block, same side of the street, same everything, and it's right there. And he said that all of a sudden it just got really crazy. All of a sudden when the first plane hit and he heard like a really loud boom, and then there was like these papers just flying everywhere, like burning papers, he said, was just like flying past the windows, and he was about 15 stories up.
I lived in Raleigh, North Carolina, and at the time I was a stay-at-home mom with my older son, and I was called by my father and said, you need to turn on the TV, one of the World Trade Towers is on fire. So I turned on the news coverage and watched it live from my home and saw the second plane hit the tower live on TV. And it was unreal. And at that time, as soon as the second one flew in, everybody knew that this wasn't an accident. And then also watching the towers collapse live, it's heartbreaking because we knew there were firemen, there were policemen, there were people all in those buildings trying to save lives, and they were killed. A personal story that I have is my mother-in-law was actually supposed to be on the flight that flew into the Pentagon. She was doing business in Boston, and she was going to fly home to LA, and her flight left in the morning, but at last minute, she called the airline and said, "Hey, can I get on a flight tonight? I'd rather leave tonight than tomorrow." And they had an opening, and she got on the flight, and that's how she lived.
This was us on top of one of the towers on the observation deck, and that morning we were watching the news and we saw the first plane hit the towers and we thought it was an accident, and then when the second plane hit we knew it wasn't, and the first thing I did was I got on email. Cell phones weren't that prevalent at that time, so we got an email and I checked on my friends, and they were both fine, but they had to be evacuated from their house. And she ended up with PTSD after the experience. They went through so much just living in the city, and they eventually moved away.
And then my mom picked me up, and she couldn't even drive. She was crying so hard. I've never seen her like that, and she was crying so hard. And so my friends picked us up with my mom. I got in the car, we went to my friend's house because my mom was like, I can't like deal with this. So we went to my friend's house. She couldn't even be in the same room with us because she didn't want to say like, hey, your dad's not around or anything like that. And we didn't, all of a sudden cell phones went out, so she kept trying to call him. She couldn't get a hold of him. And so we didn't know where he was for a while. And he said he's fine, so he ended up coming home. The next day he got home because some person just brought him upstate New York because he's like, I live upstate, I need to get home. There's no trains, there's no nothing going out of the city, everything was shut down. And he came home and he was covered in ash. And it's not just like an ash you can brush off, it was like caked on. He couldn't, like it was literally like he was wearing a mask, and his clothes, it was like a huge layer that he had to like throw out his suit. It was like no way it's gonna come off. It was like burnt on. So it was really crazy, but I'm super proud of him. He like went in and saved people. He carried these people.
This is a tragedy, and 2,996 people lost their lives. Firefighters, officers, and first responders all over New York passed away while trying to help the people in the tower. This year also marks the first freshman class without any students who had been born before the attack. This was a day that Americans would never forget.
17 years, and we will never forget.
In other news, the William S. Hart Union School District will be hosting its 8th annual College and Career Fair next Thursday, September 20th at Golden Valley High School from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Over 110 colleges and universities from across the country, career technical schools, military branches, and career pathways will be represented in an exhibit-style format to answer questions.
Additionally, there will be workshops available on financial aid and out-of-state college opportunities.
Speaking of colleges, Min Dong from Johnson & Wales will be at the Quad this Thursday during both brunch periods.
That's all for today. I'm Hailey Rutter. Stay tuned for SNN Radio and Saugus Today.
And I'm Nicole Holguin. Have a great day, and we will see you on Friday. Also, there is a district-wide minimum day on Thursday, so plan accordingly.
Nobody's ashamed.